The season started with the Salukis winning at Wyoming 67-62. Darren Brooks was impressive as he led the Salukis with 16 points. Next, Jacksonville stayed at home. Brad Korn's 17 points helped the Salukis crush the Gamecocks 84-49. Later, it's on the road to take on the Wisconsin-Milwaukee Panthers, and the Salukis pulled away with an 81-77 score. Rival Southeast Missouri State came to town, and the Salukis had no problems with them as they were victorious 71-58. Jamal Tatum surprised everyone when he led the team with 16 points. Then it's off to Drake for the conference opener. The Salukis were victorious in that one, winning 75-66. After an easy victory at Wright State with the score 79-73, the Salukis lost their first game of the season at Murray State. The Racers rallied in the second half to win the game 68-64. However, the Salukis bounced back at home with an easy 82-71 victory against the Montana Grizzlies. After a quick 57-40 victory against Illinois State, the much more physical UNC Charlotte were able to beat the Salukis at SIU Arena 54-46.
From the Holman Center in Terre Haute, Indiana, welcome to Saluki basketball, Missouri Valley Conference style. I'm Mike Truth. Thad Jackson's alongside. Nick Schneider will join us a little bit later on. Southern takes on Indiana State in a big Missouri Valley Conference game for both teams. The Salukis come in, Thad, undefeated at 2-0. Indiana State is 1-1 in the conference. These are games at home, if you're Indiana State, that you don't want to let slip away.
And Indiana State 4-0 here at home this year, and the Salukis come in winners of 7 of the last 8 at the Holman Center, including 3 straight over Indiana State.
Indiana State's starting lineup looks like a mash unit. 2 of their starters will not play. Marcus Howard is out. Also, Amani Donish is out. Howard is their defensive stopper. Now, for the Salukis, Jamal Tatum will not play as he's serving a 1-game suspension. But I think that the advantage goes to the Salukis.
Definitely the advantage to Southern because those 2 players that are out for Indiana State, Howard and Donish, average 17 points together. And with Indiana State averaging only a combined 61 per game, they're missing 25% of their offense right there.
We mentioned earlier, Indiana State at home, undefeated so far this year, so it will not be an easy game.
Shouldn't be an easy game. It's always a low-scoring game. Indiana State does give up the 61, but their defense also number 2 in the Valley, so it could be a low-scoring game today.
We're looking for a great one. The Salukis on the road against the Sycamores of Indiana State. Thad and I will be back with the starting lineups from Terre Haute when we come back in just a few moments. Welcome back to Terre Haute. Support for Saluki basketball brought to you by Vogler Motor Company, Mark Williams Outdoor Equipment, Banterra Bank, Venegoni Harrell Distributing LLC, Golden Eagle Distributing, and B&G Venegoni Distributing, 710 Bookstore and the Saluki Connection, SI Family Dentistry, Gentry Couch Incorporated, and by Brian's Heating and Air Conditioning, Daniel & Son Mechanical Contractors, and Garibaldi Heating and Cooling. Welcome back to Terre Haute. Let's check out the starting lineups for tonight's basketball game. First for the host, Sycamores from Indiana State. They will go this way. They are without Marcus Howard, their big defensive stopper. They will go with number 24, Eric Gray, Tyson Schnichter, and David Moss at the guard spots. Jared Adler and Deron Evans will be at the forwards, and David Moss is their big scorer. Southern has to contain David Moss. And now the starting lineups for the Salukis of Southern Illinois University. They'll go with a pretty much starting lineup they've gone with all year long. They will start with Salukis with Brad Korn and Sylvester Willis, Darren Brooks, Brian Turner, and Stetson Hairston will be the starting lineup for the Salukis. Darren Brooks leads Southern in scoring at 17.3. He needs to get back on track. He's had 2 subpar games in a row.
Brooks struggled a little bit the last 2 games. Look for somebody else to maybe step up, but Darren leading the team and leading in rebounds also in scoring. Look for Brooks to maybe have a breakout game here against Indiana State.
Support for this program comes from John A. Logan College, presenting an open house of the college's new community health education complex and new workforce development and construction management facility this Saturday from 8 until 4 p.m. at the Carterville campus. Both teams have been introduced on the floor to the fans. It is a small crowd. There's Saluki head coach Matt Painter in his first year, of course, after taking over for Bruce Weber. And Southern is out to a great start as well. And there's David Moss and Amani Deshawn, the two guys out for Indiana State. Moss, as you saw on crutches, has a stress fracture in his femur. And, Marcus Howard and Amani Deshawn has some cracked ribs. Here we go, jumping it up at the center. And it's Southern controlling, and it's Brian Turner. Southern in the maroon with the white and black stripes down the side. Indiana State starting out in the man-to-man defense.
Usually do play a man-to-man. We'll see if Southern can maybe work the ball down low with the big guy out.
Brooks on the right wing. That's Gray covering Darren. Shot clock down to 15. Turner with it. Stetson, a long three. No good. Not a great offensive set first time around for the Salukis.
Hairston had 15 last Friday against Charlotte. Finally, he got things going last week, and he just kind of off a little short on that first shot.
That was Schnichter with it, number 30. David Moss is a sophomore phenom, and Hairston draws that assignment to start things off. Shot clock violation on Indiana State. Nobody had possession, apparently, on that. And so they're calling it a shot clock violation, saying Southern never had possession of the ball, so the shot clock continued to wind down.
I never heard the buzzer go off, but it looks like that's what they're going to call it. It'll be Southern basketball.
Shot clock is at 0-0. I didn't see the light, though, for those of you who saw the Texas-Providence game the other night. Texas won on a last-second shot where the clock reached 0-0-0, but the light behind the shot clock had not gone off yet. And there's the discussion at center court from the referees and the timekeeper and the shot clock keeper. They're debating whether Southern ever gained possession of the basketball. It didn't look like Southern ever had possession. And if it's a shot clock violation, Southern gets the basketball.
And that clock can reach 0, but they go by the light. That red light behind the basket needs to come on. So that's what they're going to discuss right now.
But they still didn't get a shot off, so it wouldn't matter. Southern would get the basketball. Now they're discussing it with both head coaches, Matt Painter and Royce Waltman. That's Indiana State's assistant coach right there, Dick Bender. There's Matt. Matt doesn't look happy, so it looks like Indiana State's going to get the basketball back.
And we'll see what they're going to do with the shot clock here. If Southern never had possession of the basketball, it's still at 0.
It's still at 0. Apparently the horn never went off, so this is exactly what we were talking about. No, they just reset it to 35. So a brand new possession for Indiana State. 18:59, as you can see, left to go in the first half.
We expected a slow ball game, Mike, but not this way.
So now what are we waiting for?
Both teams are ready to go. Looks like just the officials are kind of getting things set here.
I think they want the shot clock reset to a certain number.
Now they've put 5 seconds. Indiana State will have 5 on the shot clock.
So the shot clock is down to 5 seconds. So we'll see a very quick shot by the Sycamores here.
This could be a good opportunity to get a steal for the Salukis in a breakaway.
I think now they're checking to see if the shot clock works. Our referees tonight are Brad Gaston, Sam Licklider, and Terry Anderson, and they've got it under control, and here we go. Eric Gray driving on Hairston, gets the shot off, and it goes in.
After all that, Gray does get the shot off with 1 to go on the clock, and Indiana up with an early lead.
Darren Brooks all the way to the hoop for 2.
And that's what Darren Brooks can do. He can create from the inside and the outside, and he's not afraid to go in.
Talented freshman with the basketball now. Tyson Schnichter from Robinson, Illinois, is their top 3-point shooter this season.
Schnicker just 6 points per game, but he is 58% from behind the arc.
That's Derod Evans. Now it's David Moss. To the corner, and Schnichter too long. Gray gets the long rebound. And the shot clock again is screwing up. Shot clock went all the way down to 0 again. And now we've got a 35 seconds again.
And that definitely, I don't think that was 35 seconds that Indiana State had the ball.
It should have reset when it hit the rim, which is what happened, and it just reset to 0 and nothing happened.
Yep.
Schnichter with it out high. Southern in their stifling man-to-man defense. Brooks getting Moss this time. There's the double team. There's the steal. And Schnichter gets it back. And Indiana State will keep it. Gray throws it off of Darren Brooks, almost right in our lap.
Brooks nearly gets another steal almost twice, and he does lead the Salukis in steals.
Schnichter with a count out, almost a 5-second count. Gray, a 3. He's 2 for 2. He's a freshman out of Chicago.
This is Gray's first start for the Sycamores. They've used 9 different lineups this year.
Brooks with it, out high. Baseline pass, Korn. 15-footer good for Darren Brooks. He's 2 for 2.
Brooks answers with his second bucket.
Indiana State ahead early, 5-4. It's Gray. He's a strong-looking freshman.
And he's not a...
Salukis and rebounds. Up to Sylvester Willis. BT for 3, and his shooting woes continue from 3. And now Korn stepped on the boundary as he was trying to throw it off one of the Sycamores. And Brian Turner has struggled from 3 this year.
We'll see if Turner keeps putting them up, but a little short on that one. Good rebound by Korn, just stepped out of bounds on the inline.
Turner shooting just 19% this year from 3, and he led the Salukis a year ago in conference play. Schnichter on the wing. Gray trying to run a weave at the top of the key. Long jumper is good. A 3 by Jared Adler.
Willis goes over to help out on the defense, leaves Adler open, and he hits it right from the top.
Korn, baseline. Tries to draw a foul, can't, and Southern will keep it. 16-14 left to go. Jared Adler shoots 3s. Well, that was only his 3rd this year. He's 1 for 3, or he's 2 for 3 now.
Good looking shot, but when you're wide open, you can knock those down.
Willis double team. Brad, contended shot, but it goes in.
Good shot by Korn to elevate and get over his defender, drop it in.
Sycamores lead it by 2, 8-6, and Indiana State has done what they've wanted to do, and that's start well, not get behind early against the Salukis. Gray almost double dribbles. Air ball. Brooks comes out with a basketball. Southern does not have numbers. It's 3-on-3. Korn wide open from 3. No. And nobody in the rebound. Sylvester Willis never made it across half court.
Korn can't shoot the 3s. Number 2 on the Southern Illinois team in 3-point shooting.
We're just ahead of a media timeout. Moss gets pushed by Darren Brooks. First foul on the Salukis. First foul on Darren Brooks. And we've come to our first media timeout of the first half. 15:23 left to go. Indiana State leads early. It's 8-6. Early on, Indiana State leads the Salukis by a score of 8-6. Support for Saluki basketball is brought to you in part by First Cellular, a Southern Illinois company specializing in wireless data communication services throughout the communities of Southern Illinois. First Cellular is proud to be a continued supporter of SIU Salukis athletics. This is a historical building, the Holman Center. Nick Schneigert, what do you got?
Well, hey, check this out. This is a very historical team. It has a lot of history, a lot of tradition. Indiana State during the 30s, 40s, and 50s was one of the national powerhouses in their respective division. However, it wasn't until 1979 when they made NCAA run all the way up to the championship game where they lost against Michigan State. And that was the beginning of the classical rivalry between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And Larry Bird, former Indiana State player, had a he had a very, very good playing years over here. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Nick. David Moss with it now, 20 on the shot clock. Good pressure by Tony Young into the game now. Lamar Owen also in for the Salukis. Shot clock running down. There's Adler, top of the key, drives it all the way in, blocked by Willis and hammered by Sylvester with 3 on the shot clock.
Probably see a lot of minutes from guys like Tony Young and maybe Ryan Walker with the absence of Jamal Tatum today.
Jared Adler will go to the free throw line.
And here's Willis with the block. Gets a piece of the ball, but I think they called the body foul. Charge number 1 to Willis.
Adler's free throw is no good. He shoots him at a 71% clip.
Josh Warren set to check in for Southern. He'll replace Willis.
Jared Adler, 6'9" junior out of Monroe, Indiana. He's been a 2-year starter now for the Sycamores. He missed them both, and deep Darren Brooks gets the rebound. Southern needs a basket to tie. Lamar with it. Corner to the corner, and Tony Young goes baseline. Gets blocked out of there by David Moss. Back come the Sycamores, and that's Schnittger. It's Russell Trudeau with it. He's a freshman. They play a lot of freshmen and sophomores. A very young team. Adler finally gets control. Schnittger to the corner for a 3. No. Southern is not on the boards at all. And Indiana State gets a timeout. It's a 30-second timeout. Southern is not hitting the defensive boards right now.
Definitely not rebounding coming into this game. Indiana State 8th in the conference out of just 10 teams in rebounding offense, number 9 in rebounding defense. Southern is 10 in rebounding defense, and that seems to be the problem so far tonight.
Still 8-6. That last drive by Tony Young was a good one, but he never saw David Moss coming from the weak side to just swat the thing away.
Coach Painter trying to rally the troops here. Lamar Owen back in the game, and Owen off the bench is the top performer, 8.9 points per game. He also does pull down 3 and over nearly 4 rebounds per game for Southern.
So the Salukis have Tony Young, Stetson Hairston, Lamar Owen, Josh Warren, and Brad Korn in the lineup. Indiana State with David Moss. They just brought Ted Morris into the game, number 32. He's a 6'10 sophomore out of St. Louis. They've got Russell Trudeau, Schnittger, and Deron Evans. A very, very young team out there right now for Indiana State. Moss charges into Lamar Owen. Lamar can play some D.
It's a good job by Owen, just staying his ground. He does take the charge. It'll be Saluki basketball.
Into the lineup for Indiana State, number 11, Cottrell Green. He's usually starting. He's a 6'5 senior. They finally have some leadership in there right now. He's the only senior in the lineup right now on the court.
And here's Tony Young, freshman for the Salukis, bringing the ball up.
Top of the wing. Tony's got to get rid of it. Does to Warren in the corner. Josh misses. Rebound to Brad Korn, who's got a huge height advantage over David Moss down on the wing. And he ought to be able to just get a shot anytime he wants on the block.
And here's Korn at 6'9", and we'll see if they try to work it back down low to him.
Tony down low to Josh. Jump hook is good.
Good shot by Josh, and this is what Southern needs to do, is get the easy buckets in the paint. They got the 2 big guys, Warren and Korn, in there. Definite height advantage.
Tony Young with a nice steal. And he puts it in. That's what Southern wants. That's Moss with it. Moss is their best player, a highly regarded sophomore.
Moss just a tremendous player, leads the team in rebounds and points, and we've seen several points from him here tonight.
Steal by Stetson Hairston. He's got to run out, and he'll jam it home.
We'll see. The Southern will keep this pressure defense on. They're going to pick him up full court, man-to-man. Tony Young with 1 steal already, working against Schnittger.
Tony able to recover after falling down, and another steal. Here comes Hairston again, and another jam. Southern leads it by 6. It's 14-8. 8 straight points by the Salukis.
We'll probably see a timeout, and here we get it from Indiana State.
Another timeout by Royce Waltman, and that's some pretty nifty D. 3 out of the last 4 trips, Southern has picked the pocket from Indiana State.
Great defense by Walker and Harrison with the 2 dunks. 6 straight points for Southern.
We mentioned Jamal Tatum sitting this one out, so Tony Young liked that he gets some more minutes than he normally gets and did a great job on the poke play. Didn't want to reach because the coaches tell you not to reach all the time. Here's Stetson on the two-handed slam. The second of 2 steals for Stetson.
Harrison just stepping right in the passing lanes, 4 passing by Indiana State, and easy pickings for Stetson.
And he's a guy who the last 2-3 ball games has picked up his offense quite a bit. And when his offense picks up, his defense picks up quite a bit as well.
And they've expected that from Harrison, just haven't got it until these last few games. And now with him producing and giving quality points, quality minutes, and to get everybody else clicking together, watch out for the Saluki basketball team.
And Schnichter not in there now anymore. Antoine, a senior in the lineup, is into the ball game. Wilfred Antoine from New Orleans. There's a shot long. Again, no rebound by the Salukis. Wilfred Antoine is out of New Orleans. There's Moss, can't go anywhere. Trudeau in trouble, down to the freshman, he puts it in. Ted Morris.
Hook shot there by Morris against Willis. Big body.
Using his 6'10" body, and now Tony Young gets some pressure from Antoine, and Tony travels with a basketball. And now we've come to our second media timeout of the first half. 11:41 left to go in the first half. Southern has come back strong, leads the Sycamores 14-10. Are available to alumni members at select Southern Illinois businesses and banks for the January 25th home game against Indiana State. 453-2408 or SIUalumni.com for more information. Back to the action. Moss along 3, short. Southern gets on the boards that time. It's Stetson Harrison bringing it down.
No screen. Motion. 41.
Tony Young with it now, guarded by Antoine, and he throws it right to Moss. Almost steals it back. Out to Antoine, again to Moss. Short, gets his own rebound and throws it out of bounds. He had nobody to throw it to. He should have come down with it, relaxed, and could have done something.
Could have taken it back up. We just see the versatility of David Moss there, the sophomore guard, and just he can shoot outside, he can drive inside, and he can also throw it away.
Turner and Brooks back into the Saluki lineup. Brooks with it. Southern leads it by 4. That's Lamar Owen. Top of the key to Sylvester. BT from long range, no. Rebound to Brooks. Tip, no. And Turner still can't hit a 3.
Had a good open look there, just can't get it to fall.
That's Eric Gray, who hit 2 early shots for the Sycamores and gave them the early 5-2 lead. Adler, Jared Adler, going to check back in now for Morris. There's Adler back in for the Sycamores. They'll trigger it, trailing by 4. Indiana State undefeated at home this year is 4-0. They're 5-5 overall, 1-1 in the Valley. And they turn it over. They beat Evansville here at the Holman Center by 20, then lost at Bradley by 10, 52-42 just last weekend.
Great defensive effort by Stetson. Again, there nearly gets another steal, creates another Sycamore turnover.
5 turnovers now for the Sycamores. Top of the key to Stetson. Sylvester spin move, and he travels with a basketball. 3rd turnover for the Salukis. Tony Young has 2, and Sylvester has 1.
We'll see if Southern maybe tries to work the ball around a little bit more, be a little more patient on offense.
Coach Banner, if you hear him, he's yelling reverse it, reverse it, reverse it, and they're working just one side of the Indiana State defense so far. Antoine. We have a foul on who? Going to be on Sylvester Willis, his 2nd foul. And Josh Warren's going to have to check in quickly for the Salukis. Sly sits down as Josh comes in. Brad Korn also coming in for Lamar Owen.
Willis with the second foul with under 10 minutes to play here. They're going to set him down so he doesn't pick up that third in the first half.
See who does the scoring now that Moss is out of the lineup for Indiana State. Gray with it. Cottrell Green now. That's Antoine. Corner, shot, no. Rebound, Josh Warren. Good position by Josh on that play. Southern in transition. Stetson all the way to the hoop. Won't go down. And they're calling it on the floor anyway, so. Foul is called on Russell Trudeau, his first, and Stetson ought to be able to take Trudeau anytime he wants him one-on-one. And
I think Stetson's fired up with those 2 steals and 2 dunks. He's looking to score, looking to create.
That's Darren Brooks with it now. To the hoop for 2. Nice look by Darren.
Brooks just using the baseline, gets under his man and goes right up off the glass and in. Great move.
That's Gray with it. To Sams, Jake Sams to the right side, and Antoine looking for Adler underneath. They get it there. And Adler throws it away to Antoine. They're too quick with what they do as well. David Moss comes back in.
Josh Warren and Jared Adler going at it down low, and Warren doing a good job to get a body on him and force Adler into the turnover.
6 turnovers now for the Sycamores. Southern would like to get that up in the high teens by the time this thing's over with. Oh, Darren was open, but 2 guys close off in the lane real quickly. Moss gets the steal. 4th turnover now for the Salukis. Gray up over Stetson. No good.
Southern with a good rebound.
Still 16-10. Brad wide open. Back out to Brian Turner. Yes! BT knocks down a 3.
Finally gets one to fall. Good shot by Turner, and they're going to let him keep shooting. Let him break out of this.
And that was within the flow of the offense. There's no reason BT shouldn't take that shot. Southern up by 9, 19-10. Sams pushes. Oh, they're going to call a block on Brad. Looked like he led with his elbow, but they're going to call it on Brad.
Warren will pick up that first foul.
We come to immediate timeout. 7:54 to go in the first half. Southern has extended the lead. It's 19-10. Welcome back to the Holman Center. Southern, after a sluggish start, leads Indiana State 19-10. Let's go see what Nick Schneigert has. Nick.
Thank you very much. Well, there seems to be a little bit of a reunion tonight. Sophomore David Moss and freshman Eric Gray of the Sycamores and junior Sylvester Willis of the Salukis all went to the same high school back in the day and all were in the same championship team that featured Eddie Curry back in the day, about 3 years ago. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, it is neat when high school chums get together, and Indiana State almost turned it over. They say it went off of Brad Korn.
Both teams in a scoring drought here in the last 6 minutes. Only 5 points. Those have all come from Southern.
Indiana State again gets it into Antoine. Antoine has incredible quickness. Gray looked like he wanted to shoot a long 3, but didn't. That's Deron Evans. It's pretty good defense by the Salukis. Adler up top. Shot clock down to 12. Gray. Moss. Oh, good rebound by Brian Turner.
Great pressure defense by the Salukis on that possession.
Salukis lead it by 9, 19-10.
And that 10 points, it's always the goal for Southern to hold their opponent under 25 in the first half.
Brooks top of the key, gets a pick. 3, yeah. Nothing but net for DB.
If he's open, he'll take it.
He's got 9. That's his 15th 3 of the season. Southern leads it by 12, 22-10. Remember, Indiana State led 8-6, so they've only scored 2 points in the last about 8.5 minutes. Antoine up top. Nice move by Antoine to get the 2. Wilfred Antoine. Matt Painter calling out plays. Southern not running motion, but running plays. There's a hold by Antoine, and you wondered when they were finally going to call that. I guess until he gets away with it.
Let him play a little bit there, but then a little too much from Antoine, and he gets called with the hand check.
And Antoine goes out. Schnichter comes back in, the guy who had so much trouble bringing the ball up the court. Here's the push right there. He's holding him right there.
Definitely.
Nice pass to Darren Brooks for 2. Darren Brooks with another nifty move, and DB I don't think has missed a shot yet, maybe one. He's got 11 points. Schnichter. Up top, Eric Gray.
Schnichter's a 3-point shooter. We'll see if they'll work him around to get an open shot.
Woo, a block by Brooks. Oh, Lamar Owen almost had a steal. Indiana State's pretty confused right now. Moss. 7 on the shot clock. Adler has to shoot a long 3, and he hits it.
Still good defensive pressure by Southern, and Indiana State just a little bit out of sync here. Finally does get an open look.
Brooks is 5 out of 6 from the field in this one. Down low, Brooks again is good. Nobody can stop him down there down low. Schnichter certainly can't.
That's 13 for Brooks and comes into the game as Saluki's leading scorer is 17, 13 already here in the first half.
6 out of 7 from the field. Dawgs lead it by 11. Moss with it. Up top, Deron Evans. Evans. Adler and Gray have been their scorers today. Moss back to Evans. Blocked from behind and a foul.
A good give and go by Indiana State there. And Lamar Owens, the foul is on Josh Warren.
Gonna call it on Josh. That's his first. 15 foul on the Salukis. Deron Evans at the free throw line. He's shooting only 40% on the year, 4 out of 10. And that's why. 4 out of 11. Into the lineup for the Salukis, Hairston and Young. Sitting down, Brian Turner and Darren Brooks. And Brooks, 13 first half points. Half of the Salukis total.
You see this from the Southern Illinois team. They rotate in and out a lot of bodies. And they usually wear down the other team in the second half.
Evans misses them both. So a wasted trip down the court for the Sycamores. And Evans is now 4 out of 12. Stetson, somebody's got to move to get the ball. Josh has it. Tony Young, he'll shoot a 3. He'll hit a 3. Tony Young knocks it down.
Good shot by Young to work open, and if he's got the open 3, he can take it. You don't lose much with all of these substitutions for Southern.
And Tony's got 5 points now. Schnichter from the baseline. No, rebound to Brad Korn. Stetson. To Tony Young.
See if Southern backs up here, gets their offense set up.
Tony's making a lot of lazy passes. A lot of lazy passes.
And he's going to get called for the foul down low, away from the basketball here.
Illegal block on Tony. 16 foul on the Salukis. Cottrell Green back into the game now for the Sycamores. So is Antoine, David Moss, Russell Trudeau, and Jared Adler. It's Moss, who is yet to score here in the game. Way out to Antoine. And they'll give him the 3. Moss. Good defense by Lamar Owen.
I like this matchup, Owen on Moss.
Trudeau for 3. No.
Great position by Lamar Owen.
Exactly. Foul's going to be on Jared Adler. Great position by Lamar Owen. We've got a timeout on the floor. The Salukis are getting it done. They lead it by 14. 29-15. We'll be back. The Salukis lead is now 14. It's 29-15 with 3:35 left to go in the half. Support for this program comes from John A. Logan College, presenting an open house of the college's new community health education complex and new workforce development and construction management facility this Saturday from 8 until 4 at the Carterville campus.
Home is where the heart is, and your home for Saluki basketball is WSIU Public Television. Help keep your home in shape with a generous pledge, and we'll keep your heart pumping with exciting Saluki basketball. Call now, 1-800-745-9748.
Lamar Owen to the corner and Brad Korn. 15 on the shot clock. Tony Young fouled by Antoine, and Tony Young will go to the line to shoot a pair. Wilford got his hand in there a little bit too far into the cookie jar and scraped him on the elbow, and Tony Young, who has not shot any free throws this year, will go to the line.
And here they just cleared out that side of the lane for Young, and he drives in, and Wilford, easy reach in, easy call.
First free throw of the season. Whoops. He will never be 1,000 in his career.
0 for 1. But he can always go up from here.
Absolutely. Nope. But he gets the rebound. Stetson fouled, and he'll go to the line. And 2 big offensive tips on that possession after Tony Young missed both free throws.
Great job by Southern, not giving up on the ball. The missed free throw comes right back to Young. He puts it up, and Hairston, a good job to get in under the block and put it back up, draw another foul against the Sycamores.
Stetson has shot some free throws, 16 out of 21, leads the team at 76%. Good.
Each team with 6 fouls now. 3:08 to go. 1 more foul by either team. They'll both be in the bonus.
Stetson now with 5 points. DB comes in for Josh Warren. Stetson looking for his 6th point of the game. Good. Makes them both.
2 dunks and 2 free throws. That's an easy 6 points.
Yes, it is. They don't come much easier than that. Let's see what Brooks knocks that all the way into the Indiana State bench, as Schnichter is having trouble bringing it up against the Salukis.
And here he'll try it again. Here's Young going up.
Tony Young's going to get on him. You make Schnichter work, and all of a sudden his legs go, and then he's not such a good three-point shooter. Not that he's going to get many looks anyway. Oh, Korn almost with a steal.
Best way to take somebody out of the game is just pressure defense.
Down to Cottrell Green, and they give him the layup because he got in tight.
That's a good cut by Green, and also a good look for the easy bucket.
Tony Young again. A soft pass. Green with the slam.
And Young looks over here at Coach Painter. We'll see if Young's going to stay in the game, but he needs to really throw those passes.
31-19. Stetson. Nice pass to Brooks for 2. What a great feed from Stetson.
And you see this, these guys have played together so much that they kind of know where each other are on the court, and a great look there to get Brooks another easy bucket.
Adler for 3, short. Rebound to Lamar. Oh, and he throws it away, and a foul. The Salukis are being so careless with their passes.
We've seen this the last few games. Southern can get a little careless at times, and Indiana State back to within 12, 33-21 now, and Southern needs to take care of the basketball.
7th turnover on the Salukis. Lamar Owen hit with that foul. Oh, and Schnitter misses the free throw. Stetson down the lane. Good.
Good move by Hairston.
Southern leads it back by 14. 1:35 left to go. We'll talk to Matt Painter as the half comes to a close. Schnitter, no way. Rebound to Lamar.
Schnitter way off on that layup. Now Southern's going to slow it down here. Good idea.
They want to get a good shot here. Try to extend the lead to 14 or 15. Rather 16 or 17.
Another careless pass by Southern.
Hairston has it. They got time. Shot clock. They want to reset the shot clock now. 21 on the shot clock. Boy, they are really screwing up that shot clock today.
Indiana State never had possession. They did reset the clock, but now they're going to put 12 on the shot clock.
I thought they wanted 21. I thought they wanted 21 on the shot clock.
That's exactly what Matt Painter said here in front of us, but we'll see what Southern can do with 12
DB
seconds.
a long three. Doesn't. Oh, it almost went in, but they get it back. BT, yeah! Turner with another three.
Right to Turner, wide open, great shot, and if he just keeps shooting, he'll start feeling it.
17-point lead by Southern. That's Moss with it again. David Moss has not scored in this game. Double teamed. Adler, high off the glass, and it stays in. Adler's been their best thing going. He's got 8. Southern can hold for one shot.
60 points to under. 60 points to under.
Bowie's in the game, or Boo rather, number 10. Shot clock, as you can see it, down to 17. Game clock rather. 10. Korn.
Needs to get out of that corner.
Does not get a shot off. So the first half comes to a close. The Salukis, after getting behind early 8-6, are in front big time as they lead it by 15 points over the Sycamores. It's 38-23. And let's go to Nick, who has Coach Painter. Nick, go ahead.
All right, Coach, basically the score is 38-23. Why were you guys so successful in the first half?
I think our pressure gave them a lot of trouble. We got that spurt and then about the 7-minute mark there where we got about 3 or 4 steals in a row. I think we just took them out of some things, and they made some shots early, but our defense was really good. If we can continue to keep that pressure on them, I think we're going to be successful in the second half.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. Thanks a lot. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Nick. Coach Painter. Obviously, though, it was that 3 out of 4 trips down the floor where they got the steals and 2 dunks and a layup that pushed the deficit into a lead of from 8-6 to 14 to 8 Salukis, and they've gone on from there, and they lead it big time by a score of 38-23. So we are at halftime. We have some interviews for you coming up in just a few moments. Our score: Southern Illinois 38, Indiana State 23. We'll be back after a few messages. Well, the Missouri Valley Conference is heating up, folks, and it's time to take a look at the Valley Conference standings. Brought to you by Edward Jones, with more than 130 years of experience helping individuals build financial security. And how about who's at the top of the conference? Number 1 and number 2, the dreaded Creighton Blue Jays and the Salukis of Southern Illinois. Creighton, what a great year they've had. Undefeated, ranked 23rd in the country. They are playing at Illinois State as we speak tonight in a big road game for them. They just beat Bradley a couple of days ago, and now they're taking on Illinois State in that Midwestern swing that they do. Northern Iowa, a little bit of a surprise, also up there at 2-0 and 7-3 overall. Then Wichita, the preseason conference favorite, stubbed its toe at home against Drake last weekend. They're now 1-1, as is Bradley, Drake, and Indiana State. And then coming up from the bottom, it's Southwest Missouri, Illinois State, and Evansville. I think the biggest surprise there is SMS. They're 0-2, but their losses are to Creighton on the road and home against Wichita State. So right now, that's how the standings look, and they're brought to you by Edward Jones, investing in you and your dreams. And it's, you know, everybody thought that Southern and Creighton might be down a little bit this year, but there they are right back on the top.
And you look at those standings, you see Wichita State there at 1-1. That's why it's so important for Southern to win this game here at Indiana State, win these games on the road against the lesser teams in the conference, and stay up on top there with the teams like Creighton. Wichita State, of course, coming in next Sunday.
No question. We are in halftime, and the Salukis lead it by a score of 38-23. We'll be back with some first half stats when we come back after.
Respect. A legend in reliability.
And welcome back to Terre Haute. You know, support for Saluki basketball is brought to you in part by First Cellular, a Southern Illinois company specializing in wireless data communications services throughout the communities of Southern Illinois. First Cellular is proud to be a continued supporter of SIU Saluki athletics. The first half stats look pretty good if you're a Saluki fan. Let's try to get to those, and as we see the score, that looks good. Look at the field goal percentage, 62%. The Salukis have shot 16 out of 26 from the field and held Indiana State to 40%. They'd like to hold teams to 40% all the time. 3-point percentage, 44-30. Southern is 4 out of 9 from 3. Indiana State 3 out of 10. Free throws, not really a factor. Southern is 2 out of 4. Indiana State is yet to make one. Turnovers, the Salukis have committed more turnovers in Indiana State, 8-6, and that's the only reason the score is as close as it is. And one of the biggest stats that isn't on our sheet is rebounding. Southern has 20 rebounds, Indiana State only has 9, and that is an unbelievable stat.
We talked about rebounds earlier, and Southern finally getting to the glass, pulling the ball down, and then getting into transition. And you look at that shooting percentage, one of the big reasons, that 62% shooting percentage, Darren Brooks, he's 7 of 9 from the field tonight.
All right, support for this program comes from the SIU Alumni Association, hosting its Alumni Member Appreciation Day and Chili Luncheon beginning at 11:30 a.m. prior to the game against Indiana State on Sunday, January 25th at the arena. 453-2408 or SIUalumni.com for more information. Both teams back on the floor. We're ready to start the second half. It's David Moss ready to trigger it for the Sycamores of Indiana State. Southern leads at 38-23, and that's Schnichter with it, who turned it himself over 3 times in the first half. Almost turned it over again. Cottrell Green, that's David Moss. Moss is scoreless. He's attempted only 4 shots in the game. He's the leading scorer for Indiana State and the second leading scorer in the conference.
Last year's Valley Player of the Year.
And he just turned it over. And that's their 7th turnover. Sylvester Willis is back in, and the scoreboard has now died. At least the end board has died.
We have
the official clock has it at 19:25. With the score still 38-23. And what you see on your screen is correct. They just got it fixed.
The clock above the Southern Illinois bucket went out there. Now they have it back up.
Here we go again.
So replay of the first half.
Brooks will trigger it.
Brooks with 15 in the first half.
Sylvester Willis back in after sitting out the majority of the first half with 2 fouls.
Another careless pass. It comes back to Turner, though.
To Brooks. DBU, he wanted a long 3. Wide open is Turner. He decides against it. Stetson with it, 7 on the shot clock. Brooks turns it over. Schnitter with it. Nice move by Schnitter, the freshman. He's got 4 points. They get the first bucket of the second half. They got the first bucket of the ball game as well. Stetson all the way to the hoop. Oh, he got fouled. And he can beat Gray or Schnitter anytime he wants, and the foul's on Eric Gray. Just his first. Stetson's got about a 3-inch height advantage over Gray.
Harrison with 8 points in the first half.
Korn with it. Brad in. No good. Rebound to Sylvester. Knocked away. And Moss comes up with it.
No foul called on Willis.
Just underway here in the second half. Schnitter. Cottrell Green on the right wing with a long 3. No. Rebound David Moss. But he can't control it. And Brian Turner comes up with it. Matt Painter calls sidewinder. Let's see what this one's about. Korn down low to Sylvester. And he gets blocked again.
Willis had an open opportunity. I don't think he had a handle on the ball. He hesitated
too long.
If that's sidewinder, they need to run it again because he was wide open.
Schnitter with it out high. Beats Turner. Moss won't. Gray, Adler, and they passed up 2 shots. And then Schnitter misses. They passed up 2 wide open shots.
Schnitter 0 for 2 from 3-point range. Shoots 58%. Or he was coming into this game.
Stetson a 3. No, too strong. Brooks gets the rebound. Nice pass to Stetson. Turner to Korn. 4-3. Yeah.
Brad Korn, nice shot from the corner. Good work of the basketball to work it around. Look for the open man, and that was Korn in the corner this time.
Salukis lead it by 16. They are back home Sunday afternoon against Wichita State. 2:05 is the tip-off at the arena. Eric Gray, Schnichter, 10 on the shot clock. Adler from the corner for three, yes.
That gives Adler 11 on tonight, and his career high is 11 points. That came against Southern last year right here on January 11th.
We're the only team that allows him to shoot threes. Stetson. BT, top of the key for three, yeah. And Turner's hit three in a row.
Turner 3 from 5 from three-point range, comes into this game averaging just about 4 points, and that gives him 9 tonight.
So the teams trade threes. Moss with a three. Nothing but net for David Moss. Finally scores at the 16:01 mark of the second half.
That's just great defense by Southern to hold Moss scoreless for 24 minutes of this ball game.
He's only shot the ball 5 times though. Yeah, it's a block. That's a good call. That's a good call. Foul's going to be on Cottrell Green. His second foul, second team foul. We come to our first media timeout of the second half. The Salukis lead it here in the second half, 15:44 to go. It's 44-31 SIU. Back with more after this. With Thad Jackson, this is Mike Trude. It's 44-31. The Salukis lead at 15:44 left to go in the ball game.
When the Salukis leave home, WSIU goes with them. We want to share every exciting moment, but we need your support to make it happen. Call now 1-800-745-9748.
Let's go over to Nick. Nick.
Hey, thank you very much. I was able to talk to head coach Painter just after halftime, and I asked him basically what kind of adjustments he's going to do for the second half. He looked at me with a very confident smile and said, "We're doing a good job. There are going to be no changes whatsoever." Back to you guys.
All right, as I was coming back out of the media room, I just heard a couple coaches say, if we just play some defense, we're going to win the game. And Southern almost turned it over again. But they've got it. They're calling Sidewinder again, so let's see what happens. This ought to be for Josh Warren.
See if Warren ends up down in the lock open. He's fighting against Adler.
Lamar Owen into the game. Brad double team. Somebody's wide open. BT for three, short. He rushed that one a little bit, wanted it too bad. Antoine has it. Sycamores down 13. They've yet to lose at home this year. Moss. Adler for three, short. Rebound to Lamar, he couldn't hold it, and Indiana State's going to get it back.
Owen had the position, just couldn't hold on to the ball and walks right out of bounds with it.
So Moss will trigger it. Antoine with it. Knocked it away, and the Sycamores will keep it. Pretty good defense.
Good help defense. You saw the lane collapse there as Indiana State drove through the middle three. Salukis collapsing on the ball.
They'll give Antoine a three anytime he wants it. Antoine, 13 on the shot clock. You can hear Coach Painter on the sideline. Moss. Woo!
Moss, a tough shot off the glass from that angle. Somehow gets a nice touch and a roll to fall in.
Down at the other end, a charge. Fouls on Brad Korn. It's his second. Sycamores are within 11, and Matt Painter wants a 30-second timeout, but it'll be a long one, so we'll keep it here. Indiana State with a little mini run of their own. Southern looking a little little bit frustrated on offense, and now David Moss has decided to get some shots.
And that's what Southern doesn't want. Don't let David Moss get hot. He's their leading scorer. And a little momentum change here. Indiana State with the momentum, but Saluki's still up by 11.
Salukis fans, we have upcoming games here on WSIU as well. The next televised game will be Saturday, January 17th from the Civic Center in Peoria, where the Salukis take on the Bradley Braves. That'll be a 2 o'clock tip-off from the Civic Center in Peoria. Bradley will be most likely still without their heralded senior point guard, Philip Gilbert. And they lost a tough one to Creighton the other night, got hammered by 16 points without Gilbert. And he had a stress fracture in his 5th or 6th metatarsal, which is a very difficult injury to get over in your foot. And until it's completely healed, they don't like to take chances with guys coming back early. So be sure that Philip Gilbert will be perfectly healthy when he comes back. But Southern will go there a week from Saturday, and that'll be on WSIU TV starting at 2 o'clock.
You hate to see injuries, but if he's going to be out, that's a great time for him to be out for Southern.
And again, the Salukis are home again this Sunday as they take on Wichita State at the SIU Arena, 2 o'clock tip-off. Shockers come in as the preseason conference favorites, and the Salukis beat the Shockers twice a year ago. Humiliated them at Wichita last year and then won the return game in Carbondale. The Saluki women also are home Saturday at 5:05 against the University of Evansville. Get on out to the SIU Arena and try to support Lori Opp and the Saluki women. Indiana State trying to cut it to single digits, which it has not been in quite a while. Antoine with it to Moss. Backing down, kicks it out. 9 on the shot clock. Here's where Southern has to be good. Antoine in, shot no, rebound controlled. And they're going to give it to Indiana State. So Southern, who was out rebounding Indiana State 20-9 to start the half, Indiana State's hitting the offensive boards now.
Indiana State really hasn't had a good look at the bucket here. Still good D by Southern. There's Moss up underneath.
No good. Rebound to Josh Warren. Brooks brings it up on Moss. Stetson, nice look. Kicks it out to Brian Turner for 3. Yes! Turner hits another one. He's got 4. Dawgs back up by 14.
And Turner, nothing but net. Starting to get hot from 3-point range, and that's what they need.
And that's only good news for the Salukis when he can get hot. And they're going to call a foul on Stetson underneath against Cottrell Green.
Good double team. Green steps through, and Hairston's going to pick up the foul.
Just his first personal foul. Sylvester Willis back in for Josh Warren. Good minutes down low by Josh.
You watch this help defense by Southern. Anytime somebody goes by, they're always there to help.
Green with it. Adler swinging around. Schnichter looking for Adler. Moss cuts across the lane. Double team, and now he has to start over. 14 on the shot clock. Antoine.
They're going to have to force up a shot again here.
That's not the shot they wanted, and rebound to Sly. Oh, that almost went in.
Still not a good look. Good defense by Southern to force Indiana to put up shots like that.
Brooks, no. Here comes Antoine, he can fly.
Doesn't have the numbers, good decision to pull it back.
Schnichter back to Antoine. Good pressure on the outside by the guards. They're not getting clean looks from 3 at all. Back up top to Cottrell Green. Green, yes.
There's finally an open look.
And
good ball movement.
Southern wasn't supposed to switch that time, and Owen did on the defensive end. 12-point lead. Sly, top of the key. To Stetson. Brooks. Nice pass out to Stetson, wide open, 3. Oh, no good. DB has it. Southern gets a new 35. To Sylvester. Southern will run it again. David Moss says, I want out, tugging on his jersey.
See if they can work one down low to Willis here. Working against Adler.
Shot clock at 13, plenty of time. Sylvester, no. Tip in, push on DB. Yes.
It's going to be on Brooks.
11 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the ball game. The Salukis lead it over the Sycamores. It was 15 at half. It's 47-35 now. We'll be back. And welcome back to Terre Haute. Our next televised game will be Saturday, January 17th from the Peoria Civic Center. Salukis take on the Bradley Braves in a 2 p.m. tip-off from the Civic Center in Peoria. Support for this program comes from the SIU Alumni Association, hosting its Alumni Member Appreciation Day and Chili Luncheon beginning at 11:30 a.m. prior to the game against Indiana State, Sunday, January 25th at the arena. Call 453-2408 or go to SIUalumni.com for more information. 12-point game. Southern in the lead. Antoine working on Tony Young. Trudeau in. Schnitker in there as well. David Moss is out of the lineup right now for the Sycamores. Antoine in no man's land. Somehow they come out of it. 10 on the shot clock, though. Look at Lamar working on Schnitker. Oh, he threw it in.
Schnitker with a lucky fadeaway 3 over the top of that Owen as the shot clock expires. Somehow he gets that to drop.
And it's a 9-point game. That's kind of like DB's 3 that he hit against Charlotte last week. Southern needs a bucket to stem the tide here. Nope, not on that one.
It's not the shot they wanted from Brooks.
Sylvester got the rebound. Controls it. Gets it to DB. To Stetson. Back to Sylvester. Tony Young. High arcing jumper, no. Lamar Owen gets the board. To Stetson. And they got a new shot clock again. Might as well use it.
Coach Painter has them back it out. Good decision. They need to get a bucket here.
See what they run here. Brooks working on Trudeau. Nice pass to Stetson. You could just see that one building.
Great look. As soon as Brooks went to the lane, Schnitker took one step up, and Harrison goes baseline, gets the easy layup.
That's all it took. Little two-man game. Leads back up to 11. Southern needs a turnover. Indiana State.
Good defense by Willis to front the post.
Has only 7 turnovers. Stetson to the right wing and Lamar. DB, 18-footer, nothing but net for DB. He's got 17, his first 2 points of the second half. The lead is back to 13. It was 15 at half.
Brooks is at his average, 17 per game.
And Royce Waltman wants a timeout after his team had gotten it down to 9. Southern comes back with 2 good defensive possessions and a couple good offensive possessions where they got an easy layup and then a jumper from Darren Brooks, so they're back up by 13. What's Royce Waltman trying to tell his team right now?
I think if you're Waltman, you got to tell him to be patient, keep rebounding. They are getting the rebounds against Southern, but then not let them get the open looks to get those easy buckets.
And they've done this, Southern has done this little drive with David Moss out of the lineup, and I didn't see if he checked in, but I'll bet dimes to dollars that David Moss is back in the lineup.
And you're right, Moss is. He's going to inbound the basketball. He's the guy the Sycamores need in there to shoot the basketball, get some more points on the board. But Southern playing good defense all around.
So he didn't get a very long rest. So maybe fatigue can be a pattern here for Indiana State.
Southern is good at that. They can wear a team down with all their substitutions. Lots of bodies in there for the Salukis.
And the pressure on the ball that they just continue to do. Schnitker, who drained that long 3 last time. There's Moss, there's Schnichter, 8 on the shot clock. They'll give that.
Indiana State, another one they had to force up.
To Antoine anytime he wants to take that shot. Sly with it. Korn all alone. Oh, blocked. But a foul on Morris, the 6'10 freshman out of St. Louis.
There's a good look by Young to Korn and slashing through the lane. And Korn goes up and Morris picks up the hard foul, knocks Brad to the floor.
So Brad will go to the free throw line, 78% on the season. He's made 18 out of 23. First one is good.
Sycamore substitution, number 20, Russell Trudeau.
Brad's got 6. Trudeau in for Antoine. So it'll be interesting to see now Schnichter running the point again. Korn hits them both. And it's back to a 15-point lead. So Southern has stemmed the tide and gotten back up by 15. We're under 8 minutes to go, just ahead of a media timeout. Trudeau, baseline. And Brad says, I didn't foul him. But the referee says, yes, you did.
Defensively, you got to cut off that baseline. Just get right in the guy's way, slide right down there. Don't let him get underneath.
Third foul on Korn. This is Russell Trudeau. He's a 6'4 freshman out of Lafayette, Indiana. They still can't make a free throw. They've not made one yet today. They're 0 for 5, I believe. There's Adler back in for Ted Morris. There, they got one. And we've come to the third media timeout. 7:51 left. Salukis lead it 53-39. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the Holman Center. Southern leads it by 14, 53-39. Support for Saluki basketball brought to you in part by First Cellular, a Southern Illinois company specializing in wireless data communication services throughout the communities of Southern Illinois. First Cellular is proud to be a continued supporter of Saluki athletics. Let's head over to Nick. Nick, what do you got?
Well, so far, Indiana State, during home, they're able to shoot a staggering 46% from the three-point range. Even though right now you've been seeing them shooting a three-point like left and right, SIU still able to hold them up to 35% so far this game. Back to you guys.
All right, and Southern leads it by 14 rather. Tony Young with it, a 3. Yes, Tony Young with another 3.
Young with a good shot, and we're seeing a lot of minutes from Tony Young because Tatum's absence tonight. Good shot there.
Right wing, it's Russell Trudeau. Drive into the lane. Who let him into the lane? Tipped by Hairston, and here come the Dawgs. They're going to wait for Sylvester.
Korn thought about the 3.
Sylvester's back with us now. Setting it up. 14 on the shot clock. Korn. Nice pass to Sylvester. There we go.
Again, just good ball movement. Little shot fake by Korn, and he gets the underneath pass for the bucket.
Look at Tony Young just getting in Schnitger's kitchen there. Just making him work every second.
This is what they want from Tony Young.
Cottrell Green picked up his dribbler. He's dead. Moss with it now. Ooh, they're going to call goaltending.
Willis got up on that one. Rejection, but ball in the cylinder. And that's 2 points for the Sycamores.
Trudeau for 2. And, you know, Indiana State, who's down by 17, doesn't seem to be in any hurry to try to score. Here's the replay of that one. Check it out here.
We'll see Willis get way up here. Get that shot out of here.
It already hit the backboard, so that's why it was goaltending, because he definitely got it on the way up. Dawgs lead it by 17. And again, Southern taking a little bit of air out of the ball here.
Southern will be patient here with 6 minutes to go. Don't need to force anything. You need to be careful with the basketball.
They're all right. 9 on the shot. Turner, nothing.
Turner with another 3.
For BT's got 15. All threes for Brian Turner, and I'm sure they were told, don't bother guarding him. He's shooting 19%. 20-point lead.
Keep giving him the open shot.
Cottrell Green for 3. Yes.
This is what Southern does. If one guy's not feeling it one night, somebody else will step up. Tonight it's Brian Turner with the 5 threes.
Cottrell Green cramped up on that last shot. Matt Painter calls sidewinder. See if they run it successfully. Korn with it to Stetson. Nine on the shot clock. Turner's got an open lane. No, draws the foul though, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Foul's going to be on Adler.
It looked like it opened up like the Red Sea in the middle there, and then it closed quickly, but Adler couldn't get over quickly enough to cut off Brian Turner. Here it is
Turner
again.
with the wide open shot to lane. Adler does get over there in time, but he's charged with the blocking foul.
He was still moving as contact was made for sure. So Turner to the free throw line. He will shoot 2. Southern leads it by 17. Brian hits it. It's nice to see him have a game like this.
Darren Brooks will check back in. He'll replace Brad Korn.
Debian for Korn. Turner hits them both.
20-point lead now for the Salukis.
Antoine with it. Moss, no, air ball. Rebound to Warren. Hand check way out at 30 feet. Called on Russell Trudeau. It's only the 15th foul on the Sycamores. 4th, rather.
His second, 15th foul.
Look for Southern to be patient here.
Very patient. Up by 19. 6 possessions at least.
Indiana State going to put a little more pressure on the ball.
He called timeout. Brian called a timeout. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. And Southern needs to come to the ball in that situation. They want to run some clock here and take a shot with under 8 seconds left to go in the shot clock. But if you're going to get trapped at the up by the center circle, somebody's got to come to the basketball.
And you don't want to pick up your dribble right out there, or you especially get trapped in a corner. And Indiana State is now down, trailing by 19 here with 4 minutes to go. You're going to see more pressure as we just did there. They're going to step up, put pressure on Southern.
Again, the Sycamores playing without 2 starters. Marcus Howard fractured or stress fracture in a femur in his left leg, and Amani Donish cracked some ribs in the game against Bradley. So that's 2 starters, 17 points out of the lineup. And the Salukis playing without Jamal Tatum, who's averaging 8 per game. And the Salukis have the guards, more guards than anybody in the conference, I think, that can play, where Indiana State can't afford to lose 2 guys like they lost, especially with Marcus Howard being their defensive stopper. 10 on the shot clock. Down to Josh. How about goaltending on that one?
Yeah, they might have got a piece of the ball.
They called that a clean block.
Piece of the ball, piece of the rim, piece of the board.
Yeah, piece of the rim, piece of the board, piece of everything. Trudeau out to Adler. Back to Trudeau with a 3. Hits it. 16-point lead. Lamar with it to Josh Warren. BT with it. Stetson. BT. Knocked out of bounds nicely by Deron Evans, and we go to a media timeout. 3 minutes and 16 seconds left in this one. Southern leads at 63-47. We'll be back after these messages. There's 3 minutes and 16 seconds left in this one. Southern leads at 63-47. Support for the program comes from Johnny Logan College, presenting an open house of the college's new community health education complex and new workforce development and construction management facility this Saturday from 8 until 4 p.m. at the Carterville campus. 63-47 the score. The Salukis looking to go 3-0 in the league. 2 of those wins coming on the road with a game Sunday against Wichita State at the arena. And then a week from tonight, there's a shot in by Lamar Owen. You can't ask for that any better.
Just like they drew it up in the huddle.
Then a week from tonight, the Salukis are home against Evansville. So a 2-game homestand coming up before the Salukis hit the road against the Bradley Braves. And wouldn't it be great to be 5-0 heading into Peoria?
And Indiana State, of course, yet to lose at home here, 4-0, but it looks like they might be 4-1 after this.
Knocked out of bounds off of Darren Brooks.
And Adler should have taken that right up. He had a good look at the basket, tried to make one extra pass over there to Moss.
Dawgs lead it by 18, 65-47. Trudeau to Moss. Nice pass down to Antoine. He's in the land of the Giants. Blocked by Lamar Owen.
Good front by Owen. Way to stand his ground. Just keep straight up and nowhere to go.
And I don't even know if Indiana State will bother fouling when you're down by 18 with 2:20 to go in the game.
Looks like they'll just put pressure, try to create a turnover, and we'll probably run this one out.
Stetson with it. Nice pass to DB, layup.
That's a great look by Harrison. Way to see the whole court, and Brooks just sneaking in right underneath.
Back to 20. And the Dawgs are on their way to 3-0 in the league and 9-2 overall. Great start. On the wing, it's Moss. Antoine with it. Trudeau way out at 27 feet. No. Rebound controlled by Josh Warren. And the Dawgs can walk it up the court now. Ryan Walker and Tony Young going to check in next opportunity, if there is one. Stetson with it to Turner. Dawgs led by 15 at the half. They've won this half by 5 so far.
And not an all-around solid performance, but a good enough performance to win. They wanted to come in here, win it going away, and that's what they're doing.
Brooks, no good. Rebound to Lamar Owen, and Southern can run some more clock.
Lamar Owen, he's still working. Indiana State might have let up a little bit, but Owen with a good board.
Coming up to a minute left in the ball game. Tough loss for Indiana State, having to play Southern with 2 of their starters out of the ball game with injuries.
2 starters
still got to play the game.
2 starters that contribute a lot of points.
Southern turns it over. And Tony Young and Ryan Walker come in for Stetson Hairston and Brian. 3-point Turner. No DB's coming out. Leonard Hughes is going to come in for Josh Warren.
Southern comes into this game averaging 72 points. They're at 67 right now. And it's their goal to hold the team to 25 points per half. And they've done that. 23 in the first half. And Indiana State now at 47.
Darren Brooks, the leading scorer, with 19 in the ball game. Brian Turner just behind him with 17. Adler has 11 for Indiana State. Is the only one in double figures for the Sycamores. David Moss just 5 points in the game. Deron Evans, reverse, and a follow shot will go. He's got a chance for a 3-point play. Fouls on Lamar Owen.
Owen picks up that foul. It's going to stop the clock with 27.3 here to go.
First 2 points of the game for Deron Evans. This is a young Indiana State team. At one point in this game, they had 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores on the floor.
And that's scary in a couple of years from now. If these guys keep playing, they could have a pretty good team in the next couple of years here in the Valley.
Dawgs lead by 17, and they don't have to take a shot. 67-50 is the score.
And Southern's going to run this clock out. pick up another conference victory.
BT with it. Salukis have won this basketball game. Final score 67-50. Southern goes to 9-2 overall. 3-0 in the MVC. They stay in first place. Depending on what Creighton does tonight, they can be no worse than in a tie for first in the conference after Creighton's game with Illinois State tonight. Darren Brooks led the way with 19 points. Brian Turner had 17. Stetson Hairston with a solid game with 10. Korn had 7. Sly with 2. Josh Warren with a couple. Tony Young with 2 big three-pointers and a bucket, had 8 points in the ball game. So the Salukis did very, very well tonight and really, really did well in getting this one over with, winning at 67-50. Want to remind you that the game is brought to you in part by Vogler Motor Company, Mark Williams Outdoor Equipment, Banterra Bank, Benegoning Harrell Distributing, LLC Golden Eagle Distributing, and B&G Benegoning Distributing. 710 Bookstore in the Saluki Connection, SI Family Dentistry, Gentry Couch Incorporated, and by Brian's Heating and Air Conditioning, Daniel & Son Mechanical Contractors, and Garavalia Heating and Cooling. Nick has Brian Turner, a three-point gem in this ball game.
I'm sitting here with Brian Turner right now, 17 points in the game. Why were you successful throughout the game? You had a lot of open shots. How'd you do it?
Well, it really was a defensive effort for my team. We tried to go into the game with a mindset of just defense, and the shots came from my teammates penetrating and kicking. And, you know, it's just something that I work on, just trying to knock down open shots whenever I get a chance to.
All right, good game. Appreciate it. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Nick. Great effort by Brian Turner tonight. He had 17 points. He had 5 threes, and he had 2 free throws. And he was the spark plug that got Southern over the hump tonight with his three-point shooting.
Impressive game by Brian Turner tonight. In the last game against Charlotte, even though Southern lost, we saw that from Stetson Hairston. And these are the guys that can do it. Here's Brad Korn from three-point range. Good shot from the corner by Korn. And that's what Southern can do. They have a lot of guys that can score, and it can be anybody, any different night.
Southern had at least 9 threes on the night. Here's Cottrell Green for Indiana State. One of their few breakaway buckets. They did not get many points in transition tonight, although Southern had too many turnovers that they wanted in the first half. Indiana State was not able to make those into easy points on the other end.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers by Southern, but they need to handle the basketball. And a game like this, you can kind of afford to do that, but you get those out of the way. And it's good to have a game like this in conference early to where you can kind of still work things out.
Salukis with 2 strong halves. They led it 38-23 at halftime, go on to win the ball game 67-50 over Indiana State. They're 9-2, more importantly 3-0 in the Missouri Valley Conference, at least tied for first place with Creighton in the Missouri Valley Conference. 67-50 the final score. Thad and I will be back with more when we come back to Terre Haute after this.
Next.
Along with that, Jackson, I'm Mike Trude, back in the Holman Center, Terre Haute, Indiana, in front of a very, very small crowd at the Holman Center. Indiana State falls to 5-6 overall, 1-2 in the Missouri Valley Conference. They're no longer unbeaten in the Holman Center this year. They're dropped to 4-1. Southern wins it 67-50. Let's go to the summary of the ball game. And Southern field goal percentage, 55% for the ball game. That's pretty darn good. Indiana State at 43. They were 40% in the first half, so they did improve in the second half in their shooting, although they still lost by 17 points. Look at the three-point stat, and that is a huge one, Thad. 50% for the Dawgs.
50% from behind the arc, and Brian Turner a big reason for that. Turner with 5 three-pointers on the night, and free throws too. Not much of a factor tonight. Turnovers, Salukis with 12, and just need to handle the ball a little better, but also not a big factor in this game.
We talked about the rebounding in the first half. It was 20-9 in the first half. It ended up being the final 35 rebounds for the Salukis, only 16 rebounds for Indiana State. A 19-point difference in rebounding is absolutely huge.
Great job on the boards by the Dawgs tonight, and when you do that, you can control the ball, get in your transition, or get your second chance points like they did.
We talked about Brian Turner coming up big tonight. Tony Young played a very big game for the Salukis. Knowing Jamal Tatum was not going to play, Tony knew he was going to get some added minutes tonight, and he's been mostly called upon to play some defense and get in the other guys right in his face and guard as close as he possibly can. Tonight, he helped out because he had 8 points. What does Jamal Tatum average? 8 points a game. So they matched each other perfectly, and you couldn't ask for more out of Tony's performance.
And we knew that was going to happen with Tatum out. We knew they'd sub somebody in and expect somebody to step in and take that place. And Tony Young did a great job of that. And his defensive effort, you can't say enough about that. Just in the pocket all the time, creating bad shots for the Sycamores.
Stetson Hairston with one of his 2 dunks in the basketball game following 2 consecutive steals. Here's Schnitker for Indiana State coming down on the break for the Sycamores, and this was a pretty nice move himself. Up and under against Stetson to score 2 points, and Schnitker is he's a pretty good freshman. He scored 7 points tonight. Didn't get a lot of great looks. He had the one long three-pointer, and he leads them in field goal percentage from three-point range. And as was evident, Southern didn't give him very many good looks from 3 because he had to heave the one he made from about 30 feet.
Yeah, the only one he made was the fall away over the top of the defender, and Schnitker coming in at 58%. I'm sure they talked about that coming into the game. Don't let him get any open looks, and the Saluki defense did just that.
And Indiana State coming into the game was a 3-point shooting team, shooting more threes than anybody, and as we saw, Southern held them down. Well, this game has been sponsored by Vogler Motor Company, Mark Williams Outdoor Equipment, Banterra Bank, Venegoning Harrell Distributing, LLC Golden Eagle Distributing, and B&G Venegoni Distributing. 710 Bookstore and the Saluki Connection, SI Family Dentistry, Gentry Couch Incorporated, and by Brian's Heating and Air Conditioning, Daniel & Son Mechanical Contractors, and Garavaglia Heating and Cooling. And again, a very big thank you to all of the sponsors for making our broadcast possible. They're dimming the lights here in the Holman Center, but the Salukis shine brightly tonight, 67-50 over the Sycamores, led again by Darren Brooks, who had 19 points, 15 in the first half, 4 in the second half. Darren had 19, Brian Turner had 17, Stetson had 10, and another player in double figures was Brad Korn. No, Brad Korn had 7, so 3 players in double figures for the Salukis, so that's not bad.
A good all-around effort from the whole team, and Southern moves to 3-0, 9-2 on the year. A good game to win away from home, forget the arena loss, go on the road, get a win, and now we come back home with Wichita State coming in on Sunday.
Thanks to the crew for all their hard work. For Thad Jackson and Nick Schneider, I'm Mike True. Thanks for joining us from the Holman Center. We hope you see us in a couple of weeks from Peoria when the Salukis take on the Bradley Braves. Our final score again, Southern 67, Indiana State 50. So long from Terre Haute.